What's up, my full-blooded Americans? I'm Pennyboy69, and happy 4th of July, also known as Independence Day. This is the day we celebrate America. I got my custom painted American flag shirt using my hand and finger painting crap. It was pretty cool, I would have to say. So yeah, this is gonna be great day. However, it's not going to be a great day for my video thing. Now, and you have to honestly understand this excuse, okay? This video will not be 7 hours long because of how much time I won't be spending in here. It will, but it will still have to be over 6 hours to make up for the last video. Now we could just cut off half an hour and call it a day. But no, we're only gonna give you guys 15 whole minutes more than the last one. So sorry about that. It's okay. Don't cry. It's fine. However, one thing we can do to make up for this is by making the next video 7.5 hours long, or even make it or just make it straight up 8 hours, which is what the next video would have been. Well, I'll see what time I'll have and we'll figure something out. Now, why did I do this at 3? Important stuff in the morning, getting fireworks, getting extra fireworks. We already got fireworks yesterday, but just a few more just to make sure. And searching in the closet to get the rest of them. So, you know, basic 4th of July last minute things you needed to do. So now, we have to worry about that. So if you guys don't know some stuff, but there's some other stuff that really matters about this. I can't record any videos during nighttime because, you know, I'll be outside with the fireworks. But after that, I could do one of my final parts and hopefully finish it. So all the times will be all out of whack. And also, I'm going to be going to my great-grandmother's house because I do that every Sunday. Granny's house. So yeah, Granny's house. But yeah, every Sunday I do that, and it's not Sunday, but it is 4th of July, obviously, so I need to eat there. And I'll be there again Sunday, so you know, it's going to be more of an issue. But it's okay, because it's fine. I can still upload the videos here. So this video will be an hour and 15 minutes long, which means it'll all be a perfectly good video either way. An hour and 15 minutes is pretty unique for how long these videos are, I think. Running. I can hate that shit. Cause I'm going over there at about 5, so I can always squeeze in a half-hour long video depending on how long it'll be. Then the second I come back, I'll do another video, and then I will record some videos at 4th of July and squeeze them in the description of whatever part I'll make after it, subtracting the time from the videos, and then that'll be the perfect video. Who knows? Maybe I can make it 7 hours long. Who knows? But what I do know is that after this video, I'll have a bare minimum of 5 hours worth of videos left, so you'll be excited for that. Anyways, enough yapping. I've been yapping for 5 minutes. Let's go out here and do the thing you know what we have to do. Not bad. That's not it. It's downloads. But look, I'm still having to do this crap for one reason and one reason only. Say with me, guys. Spring Bonnie is horrible, and she sucks. Spring Bonnie is probably the worst character in FNAF world. Not because of probably bad moves, even though it might be the case, but it's because she is the hardest character to unlock. I've spent at least over 6 hours trying to get her. No luck. And I still have her again. Another thing is that I also don't exactly spend a lot of time doing this crap. I hate it. I even bought every bite, so I have no other reason to be in the funhouse other than just playing this. I might as well go kill Bubba along here. Alright, so now we can officially go start the grind. The hour worth of grinding. I really wish I didn't have to do this, but it's fine. Because there's always right where Bubba would spawn. I'm leaving. I'm gonna save and leave. I know something I can do that can probably make it a lot easier on me and my life. So, have you guys seen the Dapper Waffle before? You probably have. His most popular video has at least, let me see. Well, I think I may have unplugged the damn power, I think. Or maybe it's just not working right because it just stopped. But hold on, let me go find the charger. Is it working now? No. Oh, it's unplugging on my phone. There we go. Okay, back to what I was saying. The Dapper Waffle. You've probably seen him before, or at least heard of him, maybe. Maybe a few of you guys. He has 162,000 subscribers. The most popular video where he tried to beat FNAF World with only unscrews, which is what I'm talking about here. And he's been doing nothing but FNAF World challenges. And that's his most popular videos is FNAF World and a little bit of Pizza Sim and Hello Neighbor. And he's done other challenges before, so yeah. He's a very underrated YouTuber, and I recommend you guys subscribe to him. The Dapper Waffle, if you're watching this channel, shocking. I'm surprised you are here, even though you're literally my channel subscriber count, but you put a K after it, and that's insane. But then, if you guys don't know, in his winning FNAF with only insta-kill moves video, when he went to character grinding thing, where he wanted to grind for characters, his idea was to put in a bot's input, spamming W and S on his keyboard for him, and it would just work perfectly fine to just go up and down, and even in the fights, and I could do literally nothing except sit around the bed while it's playing, and it won't automatically turn off because it's doing it for me, and I don't gotta do any other inputs, just the keyboard and mouse. So what if I downloaded the same thing that he used for this to work, and do it? After rewatching the video, after remembering what to do, I found out just use, it's called TinyTask. And after just typing in Tiny, it's already there. I don't know how this computer's listening to me, but it's right here. Maybe it's popular. I don't know. So we're just going to quickly download it. We're probably not going to use it ever again. And it's just going to sit in my download tab for eternity after this, but it's okay. So now we have TinyTask opened up. And I think it would still, it would still be available if I go into FNAF World. Let me just hold on to this so I can keep it on. Oh yeah, my FNAF World is different than his. And I wish there was a shortcut that can reopen it whenever I want. Oh, .exe. As you can see, it just goes in and clicks play, and then yeah. Open. Open? Open. Oh, I think I gotta go to my downloads and then open it in FNAF World. Well, it's not in my downloads tab, even though I have downloaded this. It's in my download history right here, so I don't know why it's not in here. Perhaps it's in desktop, or maybe go to home. Go home. ET phone home. Or maybe I just gotta save it. Maybe I gotta save it onto something. Or something, I don't know. How about this? There, it's showing on the computer on Windows. I don't even know what the open tab on this thing even does. I thought it would just open stuff up, but it's not. I guess it's not here either. So I don't know how this works. Preferences. Yeah, I don't know how. Wait, hold on. There's a hotkey I can set this to. Maybe it'll still work. So Control Shift Alt R and Control Shift Alt P. I'm gonna see if that can work. So it's Control Shift R Alt and then the starting letter of both record and play. This is a little hard to understand, but this is my first time ever using it. So we're gonna see how this works. We're going back into FNAF World, and we're gonna start off by immediately fighting Bubba, of course. Don't know how the hell Tiny Task even works. Seems like I did play it. Oh wait, what if I... Okay, what if I start it here? Right, I start here. W, S, W, S, W, S. And stop. If I play it... I don't know, man. Play speed or just... I don't know. Continuous playback. Oh crap, I think I just broke it. How do I stop it? Oh, alright. So now I know, we just do W, S, W, S, W, S, W, S. Stop, and then play it. Oh, it's moving my mouse back. But it doesn't matter, as long as I can easily stop it. So let's just do it again one time. now let's see if I can do this. Control, Shift, Control, Alt, P. It works. It plays it all the time, and it would still work right there. Alright, so they could work as long as it's open up. Oh crap, oh crap. So it doesn't matter if it's open or closed. So now, I think now we can get it to work in FNAF World. At least I hope. As long as we get into the game, fight Bubba at the start, and then maybe, just maybe for 45 minutes, I can do literally nothing while the game plays the game for me, and it's technically not cheating. Like in the Jackrock video, he stated that it's technically not cheating because he uses his own inputs and uses a bot to replace inputs. It still is inputs, not a bot. Working. It's actually working. is it? I should have saved that. It doesn't matter. Open up this and just quit. So we know it works. We know it can. We know it can go to as many places as it wants. Next step is just hopefully getting lucky and doing this long enough for it to actually work. Once again, it's not cheating. So what I'm going to do is just finish the rest of this video off. We're gonna keep Tiny Task open for later, and we're just gonna mainly open up YouTube Studio and get ready to upload this video, and then I'm gonna start a longer video, like a 3.5 hour long video, so I can use that video as a way to wait for it to get darker for 4th of July. And I'm gonna make the videos I make during the actual nighttime part. Someone actually watched the 3-hour video of me trying to get him. That's crazy. I'm sorry you had to suffer. And no, I did not Spring Bonnie, in case you didn't watch the end. So yeah, this video, let me know. Hey, it's good. It's all good. So yeah. I might leave my phone here though, so I can charge while I'm out there. It's not like it's gonna matter, right? The time will still go, and honestly, it's fine. As long as I'm out at Granny's for less than 3.5 hours, it does not matter. So what do we do for 2.5 minutes? We're just gonna play some Minesweeper. Holy crap, Lois. It's Minesweeper. Okay, since we're not going to be playing for long, I'm going to do an easy game. Ooh. That goes there. That's not a mine. Okay, all over here, that's a mine, obviously. That's a mine. The only one this could really be is this one, I think. Oh, wait, no. We need something for both this one and this one, I think. Well, actually, these two aren't mines. And this one can go right here. Thinking about it. And there we go. Easy game line. I like Minesweeper. It's a good game. It's a good game. It's a smart game for smart people. So, yeah, so like I said, I got a minute left, so I'm just gonna do my outro then. So you got started this video. I will make sure to not be in the next video. It's just gonna be you guys watching Freddy Fazbear go up and down, up and down, up and down while I'm at Granny's for like an hour. And then I'll come back and then stay here for like 2 hours or something, or just move around the house. You'll hardly see me. And if I do get Spring Bonnie, I will make sure to find the clip where I actually got Spring Bonnie and watch it happen. I'll even watch the video I would have whenever I do it at 2 times speed until I get it, and then I'll clip it. Is there anything else with this video? Make sure you guys subscribe. Goodbye.